Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming to Chanel's 48 World, where we do reviews on reality shows, soap operas, shopping hauls, anything I feel like I want to talk about and make it into a review. But today we're going to be talking about The Young and the Restless that aired today, Thursday, May 12th, 2016, and at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Like I said, with all reality shows or, excuse me, any reviews that we do, we always try to recap from the previous episode. So basically, you know how it pretty much went off with Jack walks in on Phyllis and Billy at the park, and it seems kind of, a little more intimate than it needs to have been, and that's pretty much where we take off. So we go get right on into it. We go to Kevin and Mariah. Kevin is saying or telling Mariah they are friends, roommates. She tells Kevin to buy new friends. No, I'm sorry, that was what's her name? Natalie. That's basically what he was telling her. Then we go to Dylan and Sully. Dylan is sitting there talking to baby Sully in the living room, having his own little cute conversation while Sharon looks on. And a lot of her wants to tell the truth, but she's better off just keeping her mouth closed because now we're thinking Adam is the baby's father. So it's a hot mess either way you take a look at it. And Sharon is definitely not the mother. But right now, there is not a mother in the picture because Sage is dead. So he's pretty much where he needs to be as far as the nurturing. But yes, a DNA test needs to be taken so they can clarify it all up. But like I said, I think it's Adam is the baby because Sage even wrote a note saying she knew that he was the father and thank you for not, letting everybody know about it. Okay, so we go to Lily and Neil. Neil is at the little athletic club where it seems like all of them hang out. He's watching Lily do her little managerial owner slash whatever you want to call her at the club. She's making notes to herself on her little recorder to remember to tell the staff things that she felt wasn't up to par and how she wants to have her guests view them as. So she finally acknowledges her father and she lets him know that he's a liar and a kidnapper. So that didn't sit too well with Neil. So he pretty much know Kane told her just about every little last detail. Okay, we go to Dr. Neville and Hillary. Dr. Neville is just, on pins and needles. But like I said, there's something wrong with him too. I don't know if it's a disability, but his actions just really peculiar and weird to me. I just can't put my finger on it. But anyway, he's discussing with Hillary that if Kane tells Lily about everything, then pretty much their lives are over. His medical career is over. The drug trial that him and Ashley has been working on is over. Uh, the careers, far as Ashley, will be tarnished. The Abbott name will pretty much be destroyed as far as credibility is concerned. And, because, what Neil did was a capital federal offense. I mean, what was he thinking? First, he wanted to kidnap her. Then he thought about killing her by her, on her own admission and her own bad luck. She the one slipped off the cliff. But then, Neil could have let her stay down there, and then she definitely would have been dead uh, as a road kill. You know what I'm saying? But, how he keeps explaining it, it comes out looking like he was the hero. But if he wouldn't have took his little bisty butt running after Devon and her when they were on their honeymoon, with him being in a fit of rage and, wanting to pay them both back for, I guess Devon falling in love with his lady, but he was falling in love with her prior to Neil even, getting it with her or getting there with her. So it was a hot mess when it started, but it is what it is. So basically, he's going on telling her she's not going to tell anybody about it. meaning Hillary, and she's going to see what she can do to stop Lily from opening up her mouth, because if so, all of their careers is in the water, and she's definitely dead in the water. So, let me see here. Abby walks in to the laboratory where both Hillary and Dr. Neville are there talking. She immediately switches the conversation over to Max and all the devilment he has gotten himself into, and pretty much what's going to happen, whatever. So, we go to Abby and Ben. Abby's surprised to see Ben walk in into, his little go-to hideaway suite at the athletic club. He wasn't expecting Abby to be there. But, of course, Abby's there. She's concerned because he hadn't been coming home ever since her and Max and him had that fallout about him being the main contributor. And that's the only place that she know he's hiding out at. Not facing life, not facing the situations that have occurred while they've been married, and the complications Max inevitably brought to their lives. So, she just want to check on him, everything, and she goes to ask how you been doing, and he looked at her like, extremely puzzled, like, how the hell you think I'm supposed to be? Well, let's see. I just lost another child. I don't want to talk to you because I'm half angry with you, and then I'm half trying to still grieve the baby that I shared with you that we, lost, and it's just a whole mess. So we go to commercial, we come back, we're still on both of them. Ben is telling Abby she's right. Max needs help, and he cannot understand that he's a total failure at being a father. She goes to try to embrace him, but of course, he walks away and go to the other side of the room. Excuse me. We go to Paul Williams, the social worker, and Max. Paul is trying to tell pretty much Max he's going to be interviewed by the doctor. He's trying to explain the process to him, and he's trying to explain to him that he had he has to talk with the doctor about his past, present behavior, the issues that are affecting him now, and especially the incident that was involving Abby and her baby's death. Then we go to Sharon, Dylan, and Sully. Sharon asks about Max and have he heard anything else about what's going to happen to him. Dylan goes on to tell her he pretty much has to go out to the police station and get his assignment, and he's pretty much have to follow back up with her on that issue. I don't think he knows. He has to get evaluated, and whatever the doctor says and puts in his report is gonna make the determination on what we really decide to do with Max. And she's like, such a bad situation, horrible situation. When there is a knock at the door, really, I think Mariah just walks in. Either or, it gives Dylan a pass to go on by his business and leave the baby with Sharon and Mariah. So we leave that situation. We go on to Natalie and Kevin. Natalie's trying to tell Kevin to don't worry about Mariah. She's just mad, and she's just wishing she was smart as them, and intellectual with the computer system and softwares and all of that and programming. And it's no sense of them pretty much worrying about peasants. That's her take on it. Kevin just shakes his head pretty much like, you are just so far from reality now, and it's all that money that's got you going. But he doesn't tell her that in that particular way, but he gets around to telling her that, come on, you got to do better than that. So we go to Phyllis and Billy. Phyllis is telling Jack Natalie is refusing to help solve the issue with Passkey, but she was hoping that Billy would try to talk with her, but he's saying he's not going to try to help since he doesn't have a vested interest, and Jack is trying to logically dissect the situation of what he can physically see, and it's not adding up to what coming up empty-handed. He's kind of short with the answers. So we go to commercial. We come back. We're on Ashley, Dr. Neville, and Hillary. Ashley's not buying into one bit of that story Hillary tried to throw her. She could smell bull from, eons away in a sense when it's come to Hillary. But she just sets it to the side for now because she knows she's coming back and she's going to ask Dr. Neville. And pretty sure he just in love with Ashley. And I really feel he's just going to break down and tell her. And that's going to be something else Ashley going to have to report. But I don't know because I think she's kind of intrigued with him in some kind of antiquated way. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not sure how that works out because I don't know. Maybe it's the gray hair. It doesn't really, or the gray white hair he has. Maybe if he would have, I don't know, did something with it, not go totally black, but maybe a little more black where it can offset the white. And he can come down to being a little bit more, I don't know, his speech patterns or something. It has to be, not talked in like a professor type tone, but just, a manly with some bass tone, I guess. I'm not really sure, but they're just an odd couple. But they say it's opposites attract, so I don't know. Anyway, we move from there. We go to Lily and Neil. Lily is is getting into her dad real bad, which he should. She's serving him up disappointment from his head to his toe. She's taking his morality from him. She don't think she pretty much think he's the scum of the earth at this moment. And he lacks his morals as a father. She's just totally disgusted with him at this point. So we go to Dylan and Paul. Dylan is meeting with Paul at the hospital while Max is still getting evaluated. He's asking Paul, did he hear anything? The doctor come out and say anything while they're going through their interview. He said no, he's still waiting just like the rest of them. And CPS is around the corner too, as you can tell. And they pretty much just go into like small talk, and then that's when Ben walks up because he wanted to be there with his son. He had promised his son that he would be there during the observation or evaluation, but Paul was explaining to him, that's just a patient doctor type of interview or observation session, and it doesn't detail for anybody on Max's side. Whew. Excuse me, to be there to support him. So, he half-heartedly agreed with that, but, it is what it is. And then he also goes on to say he's sorry to both Paul and Dylan about his behavior and being a little bit more abrupt than he should have been, and, aggressive and, hands-on as well, as far as with the pushing he did with Dylan. So they both accept this apology and say, it's just a part of life. We know you're going through a lot right now. And, we give you passes right now. So we go to Sharon and Mariah. Mariah's explaining what she meant when she made that statement after Dylan left to Sharon about the miscarriage and baby Sully when it comes to her and Dylan. And, she was like, okay, it's all right. I understood where you were coming from. And, of course, Mariah said, I'm a good person to keep all your secrets and this, that, and the other. So I'm like, ooh, Lord. But Sharon don't want her there because she don't want somebody telling her what she knows she needs to do. She don't want nobody to light a fire up on the left behind of her and, force her to do the right thing. Mariah's too much of a conscience for her. Even though she has one, Mariah just serves it right up to her face that she cannot do anything about it but just go on and tell the truth. So that's why she's kind of standoffish that Mariah come back to live with them, temporarily. Even though she put it on, she don't want to cramp Mariah's social, socializing or sociable status that she has. I like, sit down, Sharon, with that nonsense. Even Mariah didn't buy it. But, she goes on to tell Mariah that she can come back home, even though she knows it's going to be temporary, because her and Kevin is going to go work this work through this rough patch that they're having at the time. And sure enough, towards the end of the episode, he does try to come back and scoop her up. But she's playing hardball, y'all. But I hope she don't, play it too long. Because then, yes, Miss Natalie will go on in there and do what she got to do. And then Kevin will not be looking at her again. But anyway, we go back to Phyllis and Billy. Billy is wanting Phyllis to tell Jack why he's there, the truth about them, and what is truly going on between the two of them. And y'all, I believe Jack is figuring it out what is going on, and he's mad as hell about it. Or at least I'm hoping he's figured it out. It seems like he don't came from the abyss, and with Fiona's little nudge in that right direction, he's coming down, he's seeing things for what they really are and not just being passive aggressive about it. And he definitely, got into Phyllis' ass about it, and she didn't really like it. Only thing she could do is just have tears start to well up in her eyes. But anyway, he was finished with her at that moment, and he walked on away. We went to commercial. We came back. No, I'm sorry. Phyllis didn't walk just that point. Phyllis goes to try to explain to Jack about what she's trying to do. Jack, of course, starts questioning her even harder. He's questioning Phyllis's loyalty to their marriage, but all of it's making sense. And then he makes his graceful exit away from her at that moment. We go back to Mariah and Kevin. No, sorry, Natalie and Kevin. She's just finishing up on kissing on him, and Kevin is still trying to talk some sense into this crazy little girl head to convince her to do the right thing with Passkey, because he don't really want her to see her lose all her money and all this, that, and the other. But you can't teach everybody everything, Kevin. You gotta let them learn the hard way, and that seems pretty much what she's gonna be doing. But I think she's, you're getting to her shortly but surely, but we'll see what happens. Let's see here. We go back to Sharon and Mariah. Mariah's saying to Sharon she's trying to talk. It's her mother trying to talk her out of coming back home. She said, no, honey, you the one was saying, we have a dad, or your stepdad is here 24/7. He's in and out. He's a cop, and that's what he pretty much do. He dashes in to check on the family when he can, spend a little time here and there, and then he's back out. And then you say family just drives you crazy anyway with all their inputs and butting in and all this, that, and the other. And, she said, no, honey, you can come on back home. I was just looking at your social calendar and you being cramped, by us. And, we just don't want to do that to you. And, it is what it is. We go to Paul and Ben. Paul is telling Ben about his lost, wayward son, the demon seed child. All the tricks he's played. And he just feels like, he's lost. And he's lost for not being able to help him in some way. He felt he played a part in not being able to be there. But then, Paul starts telling him kind of a similar story about his son Ricky. Ricky wasn't in his presence when he was growing up around Max's age, and he got in a lot of mishaps growing up. And then the last mishap he got into was when he was a little older, came to General City, doing some illegal type stuff, and it cost him his life in the end. And he felt really bad for a long time about it, but he had to give himself a pass because he wasn't in his life when he could have made a difference, such as the age that Max is. And basically the only thing he can do is be there for him, make sure he gets the right mental health treatment that he needs, and just watch him grow, watch him develop. And about time Paul was finna go into another conversation, that's when Max runs out. He's finished with his evaluation observation with the doctor, and pretty much the doctor wants to talk with Ben about everything. So once Max sees him, he runs right up to him, like some little toddler or whatever, and he thinks his dad is going to be able to take him home and everything's going to be fine. But he was saying, well, he needs to talk to the doctor. And he said, well, I want you, I want to stay here with you. And then the social worker was like, no, y'all, they need to talk private, because something ain't right with you, son, and we need to, talk about you. So he half-heartedly leaves with the social worker to go get a soda or something to eat at the cafeteria or whatever. And we pretty much go to a commercial. We come back. We're on Ashley and Abby. Ashley is asking, well, at first they all were out there with Dr. Nelvin and Hillary, but she told Abby she needed to talk with her privately, so they went into Ashley's office, and Ashley goes into telling her daughter, what are you doing here? Why are you not with your husband? You see all the stuff that you're going through from the loss of your child. Now another child has been lost to the system, and it's Ben's child again that he's experiencing two losses. So you need to be there with him. Then Abby goes on to say he don't want me there. He told me to leave. He don't want me to embrace him. She said, honey, just be there for him then. Be in the same room. Y'all don't have to express words. Just be there for him. So she pretty much got on the straight and narrow with that issue. And Abby left and went back to be there for her husband. So we leave that scene. We go back to the doctor that was just finishing up on evaluating Max. And he's right there with Ben, so he knows the father. And he said, and Paul and Dylan said, trying to dismiss themselves. He said, no, I need y'all to be here too. This need to be an inclusive type of meeting, and I just need to tell you what's going on. So he goes in to tell all three men. He says, well, we know Max is the demon seed anyway. He just confirms what we already know. He also states that Max doesn't show or have any remorse for what he did to Abby or the baby. The only thing he feels bad about is that he got caught. If he could have got away with it, he would still been playing this game, still devising little, tricks and fatalities around there, how he deemed fitted. It didn't matter to who it was. He would get rid of him and won't have any type of ill will or any bad feelings that he committed that act. The doctor go on to say he cannot and will not allow Max to leave the hospital. He needs intensive treatment for his illness. Ben asked him, so you're saying my son is a danger to others? The doctor tells Ben he is a danger to you, to your wife, Abby, and himself. Okay? Could he have put it more plainer, y'all? All right, we've been telling him that the whole time, but he don't hear nothing. And then, they all go looking at perplexed at one another and back at the doctor, but they couldn't say that because he's like, honey, we don't need no all points bulletin for no child who just got diagnosed that he is a danger to himself and society. No, ma'am. No, sir. We cannot. He gonna be right here locked up behind bars, Because no, you can't put him in juvenile in a sense because he does have a mental problem, It's an illness, it's a disease, maybe it's hereditary. Who knows? I guess Ben gonna start thinking something wrong with him after a while. But, maybe we have to look at the mother, get into her medical file, see if she had some mental behavior issues going on. But I'm sure that'll play that part up. Somebody got a mental problem in the family between Ben or his ex-wife that died. But we'll see, y'all. We'll see. But anyway, we go back to Neil and Lily. Neil is still trying to make Lily see that he had no option. Yes, it was a monstrous type of thing he did. Yes, it's unforgivable. But he's asking her to do the impossible, which is to forgive him for all his actions. And, give their relationship another try. She goes on after hearing everything he got to say about the issue. Okay, fine. I'm going to give you another try, but I don't like you, Dad. I really don't like you right now. So we go on to Jack and Natalie. Natalie, I don't know if she was looking for Jack. She was looking for Phyllis. I don't know, but she got the right place, the athletic club. Because, like I said, everybody's there doing nothing on the clock. But, when you're on your own business, you can do it like that. You can float like that. So, I ain't mad at him. I would be doing it too. But she goes on to say, I know y'all got this issue. Pretty much Kevin talked me into it and I want to help. And he was like, can you really fix the problem? I'm like, Jack, you pay her X amount of dollars to install the shit. And it was working fine to, a little loophole. Because, Michael was asking her about that some months ago. About maintenance. She like, y'all about that lock barrel and whatever you call it. And y'all find y'all another program if y'all need maintenance. But, she had felt that she had built this foolproof thing of a software for credit theft and, security and all that stuff. That was what we call it, imprint. Wait a minute. It's like let me come to say, like you couldn't penetrate it. So, treatable or we y'all know what I'm talking about. But I was like, wow, does she really think that man cannot make mistakes? That programming still needs to have its updated versions every so many years, or possibly every so many months, just to make sure everything is, being solidified and meshing together as it, should be. But she just gave them a system because they fired or whatever. I don't know what the dynamics was. And then she just said, forget it, y'all bought this. Forget this, no maintenance, no nothing, no follow up. Y'all just bought it lock, stock, and barrel, and here we go. But now she's trying to help, and Jack pretty much say, "Well, go on." Oh, I'm gonna get this word before we leave him, because that just bothers the heck out of me. Impenetrable or something like that. Anyway, y'all help me out in comments. But anyway, let me see. We go to Billy and Phyllis, and Billy is Billy, I guess, had ordered some food or whatnot, because everybody dispersed at the park, when Jack had said he, but Billy had left before that. But then him and Jack and Phyllis had called themselves having a little powwow. But he didn't spend too much time after Billy left to get Phyllis to tell her, pretty much get her stuff together before she found herself in divorce court. Impenetrable. Wait a minute. Impenetratable. Something like that, guys. I'm gonna leave it alone. I probably, like I said, once I turn off the camera and the voice over thing, then I'm gonna think of it. But okay. Let's see where we were. Okay, Billy must have ordered him some food, and when he answered his doorbell, he thought it was the person delivering his food because he was famished. He found at the door not his delivery guy for his food, but Phyllis. Okay, my thing is, did you not hear what your husband just told you? Did you not hear what he just told you? Okay, you're throwing caution to the wind, so you're at his brother's house. How nasty of a tramp can you be? Okay, you're giving me whole mentality. Whole mentality, okay? I cannot. Oh, I'm done. I'm so done with Phyllis. It's not even. I mean, I understand why Belle and Phillips are even writing this crap in. I mean, come on. Come on. But anyway, she's there looking at each other. He's looking at her. And they look like they both want to attack each other on the front doorstep. But he motions her to come in. She goes with that little song and dance. I'm only here because, we really need to stay away from each other. Then what the hell are you doing over there? You could have sent him a letter. You could have sent him a postcard. Hell, you could have wrote it up in the freaking sky. Okay? And gave him that message. Text message it. Or even a voicemail could have did the trick. But no, you wanted to go over there because you wanted your world to rock. And you want old Jack no more. Old and decrepit Jack can't get it up like you want him to. No action there. So you had to go to the young stud, his brother. Really, really, really. Oh, I wish he'd just go on out of town too. Anyway, we go to commercial. We come back. We're still on those two nuts. And then they just pretty much start attacking each other with lustful, intentful ways, and you know where that's trying to go. But they land from, working their way on a wall to down on the steps, and I don't know how they get upstairs, but on the next episode, which is tomorrow, they find themselves on the step. I mean, upstairs, and she's out of her blouse almost, and he's already out of his shirt, so the rest of the clothes are just gonna come off, I'm sure. But we go to Jack and Natalie. Like I said, okay, I already finished that section. We go to Hillary and Jack. Hillary sees Jack as she's coming down the stairs at the athletic club. I don't know what she's doing there. Maybe she has a little room there. Who knows? Anyway, She goes in to make eye conversation with Jack because she seems that he is upset and frustrated. She's trying to lend her ear. But you know what I'm thinking, y'all? I'm thinking this little helper, because she's another little slut whore. I believe that she is going to try to sleep with Jack. And Jack is going to fall for it because he's vulnerable at the time. And at the time, Hillary just a little calculating, little helpful. You know, she gonna go with the side that she feels she's gonna win, and however she gets it done, that's the way it's gonna be. I think that's always her. I think that has always been her personality. She too greed and power hungry for her own good, and it's gonna come and tell on her sooner or later, more sooner than later. We leave there. We go to Ben and Max. Ben is trying to explain to Max in the most careful, sympathetic way as he can find, because you know pretty much Max is hearing what he's saying, but he ain't too much believing. He just want to go home to just make himself feel a little bit more better. But as he get up, Ben is like, sit back down, because we're not going home. I'm going home, but for now, your home's gonna be here at this hospital in a mental ward. And he just goes out crazy, spins himself into a little terror tyrant type of what do you call it, hollering match. And then he gonna call himself run. I'm like, where you going, nut? Where are you going? Okay, but like I said, he runs around the corner. Paul gets him. He lets Ben know that he's in good hands. He knew exactly what this child might try to play and do. Social worker was right there with Paul. So he pretty much said, don't worry about him, honey. He got, anytime you want to come see him, we don't know if you're going to be able to see him, but he's going to be right here in this little mental institution, locked up behind some bars, okay? Or some locked doors. He ain't going to have no freedom. He ain't going to be able to hurt nobody either. So that's pretty much how it was, and it just like somebody had knocked the wind out of Ben. I punched him in the chest, punched him in the stomach, anything to kind of take the wind at you. That's pretty much how he felt. We go on to Sharon and Mariah. Let me see. Pretty much they go to another scene where they're talking and trying to comfort each other and saying it's going to be nice being back at home, this, that, and the other. And Sharon is just really worried because she don't want, she's saying she's just worried about Mariah's social life being dimmed a little by her, taking on little extra duties at home and them kind of using her for babysitting purposes and this, that, and the other. And she just don't want her social life to go to a bus. But she's telling her mom, I just want to be around family right now. So if you can allow me to stay here, what you said I can, let's just keep it at that. Okay, we go to commercial. We come back. Mariah and Kevin is the scene. Kevin has come over to her house to let her know he wants her back. He wants her to come home. He wants her to eat that Chinese food on the day that they eat Chinese food or whatever. He wants her to play and be there to play the game, video game that they usually play. Maybe it's a little ritual for them. Every Monday they do it or whatnot. I have no idea. But he's really pretty much throwing his heart out to her. And of course, we all know Kevin has been hurt in the past. And he don't really know how to love the way he should be loved. Because he's had a rough childhood growing up. So he has a lot of negative dynamics that he plays on, a whole part of, and it, kind of solidifies his life. So Mariah needs to be very careful with pushing Kevin away, because he will have the tendency to be gone, and that's for sure. If he keep getting pushed off, I'm pretty sure she landed a little smack on his lips or whatever, it'd have been on like popcorn. But he just pretty much told her he want her back. He gave her keys back. She wouldn't take them. He just threw them on the table, and he said he'll be waiting for her. I think she wanted to say more so like, I want you as my lady, I want you as my wife, or something to that effect, and make her know it ain't gonna be no more Natalie in the picture. But she needs to step up her game and fight for her man. I mean, he must evidently care for her. He was paying rent-free and allow her to stay there. So he's still very sympathetic and all that. And he enjoys her company. He wants her there. So she needs to stop being this way and get the show on the road now. But we'll see what she does. We go back to another commercial. No, sorry. We go into Ben and Abby. Ben has come back after being punched in the stomach, in a sense, with his son being told that he has to stay there. He don't get into a lot of specifics with Abby. He tries to push her away again, but Abby listening to her mom, which is very good advice she gave her. She was thinking about leaving, but she said no, she's going to comfort him. And then she was letting him know as she got closer that they don't have to talk, they don't have to do anything. She just want to be there for him. They can be there for each other. They can have, a situation where they just, lean on each other and just be there. So he kind of like understood what she was saying. He started grabbing her real tight and crying. So pretty much it's like, Abby, keep your mouth shut. Just, pretty much listen to what he's saying and just follow his lead. So that's where we were with them. We go to Neil and Lily, and Neil is explaining why he cannot go to the police. If he do, he's going to hurt Dr. Neville. Dr. Neville will more than likely lose his medical license. Devon would go as a co-part of help. Stop, Elijah! As like a co-part in engaging in keeping a secret that Hillary was missing when he knew she wasn't missing. Neil, his adopted father, had kidnapped her. He told Devon the reason and this, that, and the other, but it still don't make no difference. They were looking for her for months and using a lot of department resources for this kind of manhunt of something that definitely wasn't warranted. And then, of course, Lily had said she had messed up her relationship with her husband for a minute because she was believing that her husband had something to do with Hillary's kidnapping. And they had made it so believable, she believed it. She fell for the okie doke. And, then Ashley would definitely, her reputation would be tarnished by association. And it would just be a hot mess for everybody. So, she just told her dad, look at here. I understand what you're saying. And yes, your actions does outweigh the consequences that will destroy a lot of people's lives. And if it was just going to destroy your life, I would go to the police department myself. But after hearing what you had to say and being logically dissecting everything and putting everything in perspective, yeah, it would be bad. But I'm going to make her life miserable all the same. But I will not look at you the way I used to look at you as Captain Save Everybody. Or, the person I looked up to fix everything and make it all right. I don't look at you the same way, Dad. So you can tell he got the wind knocked out of his behind, too. But that didn't stop Miss Lily when she saw, I don't know where she got the water from. Maybe she had it for herself to drink, but she just felt disgusted after seeing Hillary up there talking to Jack. And her emotions just got too much. She got beside herself. And I don't know if I want to say it was just cold water or whatever. I hope it wasn't no alcohol or anything of that nature, but she pretty much threw the water with great force into Hillary's face, and she was calling her all kind of obscenities. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Didn't we just tell you to hold your horses? Because that's going to warrant Jack to try to figure out what the hell made Lily do that to one of her patrons. Not a good look, Lily, on Jack's part. But he's saying how his day is spending, everything is worth everything. So, it is how it is. It pretty much what Lily did, he wanted to do to several people himself. So, like I said, he was just startled, and Hillary definitely was startled. So if she really think she gonna mess with Lily and try to put her in tow, she got another thing coming. She need to be scared of Lily, really. Forget everybody else, because her life ain't gonna suffer not one bit. It'll suffer now because she knows the secret, and it'll put her in that kind of predicament. But since Lily is very prominent in the neighborhood and all this and that, the secret's gonna come out. And that's just pretty much as it is. And the ship's got to go where they must go. But, scandal does come, scandal does go. It just is what it is. And then the last and final scene, we go back to Billy and Phyllis. And they done made it upstairs, y'all. And Billy is telling Phyllis she wants to be here with him. And because her actions showed it. She didn't have to come here. He didn't ask her to come there. So she came to get what she wanted, and he's ready to give it to her, y'all. So pretty much my expectations is they gonna get it on. But she could, in the midst of taking all her clothes off, they could come to a meeting of the minds. At least maybe she can. But to me, she's still guilty. She's still a slut, whore. Anything else I can throw at her beside the kitchen. Well, throw the kitchen sink in it too on her. Because she has a good man in Jack. Jack has always been faithful. Never really fooled around on anybody unless they fooled around on him first. And it's just terrible. Terrible, terrible. Jack can't never get nobody either, y'all. But that was The Young and the Restless for Thursday, May the 12th, 2016. Aired Eastern Standard Time at 3 p.m. It was a good episode. I mean, it was kind of like dry laughter. But either way, it gave me my entertainment life for today. So, with that said, I will see y'all tomorrow, Friday. You guys made it. You guys made it. Happy Friday to you all. But, maybe you'll be seeing this tomorrow. That's why I say Happy Friday. But if you're catching it tonight, then, hey, get ready for your last day of your work week. If you work Monday through Friday, toast it up. Do whatever you do on Fridays to cool your heels, kick up your heels, whatever. Be safe, stay encouraged, and always blessings fall to you and yours. All right, talk to you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.